Good everyone, welcome to the fifth part, one of the tutorials, the next tutorial. From our last tutorial, we were able to, in our last tutorial, we were able to, sorry for that, in our last tutorial we were able to create, make the player, the enemy to start chasing us, but I was unable to test that, so let me test it now. Okay, see? Okay, now we're on top of the player. Okay. Well, at least we see it's working. Okay. So it's actually working, it's chasing us. So now we're gonna work on it then. Okay. If this enemy AI touches us for a particular time, the player dies. Okay, so that's what we're gonna be working on now. So first things first, we go back to our player manager script. Okay, now under the player manager script, the next thing we're gonna do is so what we're gonna do first is that we're gonna go under the using engine. So we're gonna say using Unity .scene management, because we're gonna be working with the scenes and all those other things in the game. So say scene management. This will allow us to access the load scene and others. So under the void heat, we're gonna say if, then in parentheses, health is less than or equal to 0, because we're in this, then scene manager should load the scene we're in. The load scene, and when based on our index 1 is 0, so it's in 0 semicolon. Okay, we're gonna save the scene now. Yeah, so we'll go head back to Unity. We allow it to save. Okay, so next we're gonna say is I told you that based on our script, we see that our load scene is in index 0. So we should also ensure that go into the file, the build settings. Okay, I'm coming. Just gonna remove this. If you're creating it from a new project and everything, you're gonna see here is gonna be blank. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna go under the tutorial assets, then our scene, our assets, then the scene we use in the game scene. We're gonna drag it here. So now we're gonna see that the index here is 0. It has an index of 0. Good. She's also looking for, and we'll just close it. Okay, before we test it, we're gonna go under the zombie. Yeah, we're gonna find out that the zombie is actually pushing us up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say the height should be 1, the radius should be 0.6, then the y-axis should be 3.3. Yeah, so now let's test our game and see if it actually resets when we don't play. If the enemy hits us for a particular time, the kills. Okay. Okay. The game just resets again. You see, it actually works. So when it hits the second time, okay, let's see. The third time, the fourth time. Okay, the game resets again. Okay, it actually works. Okay, that's good. Okay, now to go to the main reason for this tutorial, we're supposed to start with the recasting and the shooting system. So what we're gonna do is we'll go into our folder again. We will go into the scripts, and we create a script. We need something to be managing our weapons. So we say weapon manager. Yeah, So we're gonna create a script. So we want it actually to work in a way that any direction our camera faces, that's where it's gonna shoot. If our camera is here, it faces the direction it's gonna shoot. If it faces the direction, we shoot this way. So that's what we're gonna be doing now. So let's wait for our script to load. Good. Okay. So now what we're gonna be doing next is that, okay, before we open the script, I'm gonna show you something that we're gonna use in the script. So we're gonna do project settings. And you see this file one here? We see that we use the mouse 0 and the left control. So when we click the left side of our mouse, we're meant to shoot. Good. So we open our script. Then under the script, we're gonna say, in the void update, we're gonna say if input dot get button down then brackets quote file 1. The file 1 I showed you in the project setting. So when we do this, it's gonna do this. Okay, before I continue with our main step, I'm coming. Let's just go back to this place, and what I want to do is that I'm going to assign the weapon manager to the weapon. So now the FPS character root upper chest. Then we say it's on the right side, right shoulder, right for this. Then okay, if you see it here, this is a weapon. So you click on the weapon, and we're gonna drag this weapon manager into it. Yep. Okay, so now we're done with this. We just go here, override, apply all. Good. Then I can close this, then save. We'll go back to our C# script. Then what I want to do is that I want to add a public game object. Then I'm going to call this object player camera or player cam. Okay, so now we're gonna create another function. We're gonna say void shoot. So I'm gonna say raycast hit. Raycast hit. Then I'm gonna name it hit. Semicolon. Then okay. Then we're gonna say physics dot raycast. Physics dot raycast. Then in brackets, in parentheses, sorry, player cam dot transform dot position, comma transform forward, then finally we're gonna, since we want to store whatever we get into this raycast hit, we're gonna say out hit. Then we're gonna put our semicolon. Then I'm gonna save this, head back to Unity. Then I'll go back to that. I still need to get back to that weapon. Then another weapon, sorry, oh sorry, there's an error here. It's meant to be public. So we save it again. So this time we should see a dialog box here where we can drop in the camera. So we're just gonna wait for a while, then it's gonna be ready. Yeah, so now we're gonna drag in our camera, the main camera, and drop it here. Yes. Okay, so we head back to Visual Studio. We just save this. Our Visual Studio code. We go back to a script, and we're gonna say public float range semicolon. Then I want us to have a default range, how far we can shoot with our weapon. So say equals to 100 f. Then we go back to this place here, and oh no, we go back here, and I will say comma, I will say, then we're just gonna say range. That's our float we just created. Yeah. Okay, then what we're gonna do is we'll go into this place, then we say we just copy this, then we do it here. Yeah, and semicolon. Then we save this, then we head back to Unity. Just like our code save, and that's all just what we want. Good. So we're just gonna go to the game object, 3D object, sorry, UI, image, and we're just gonna say 10. Sorry. Okay. Then I'll also make this place 10. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna click on this and use Alt and click on this. Okay. To make it centered, I'm gonna change this to 20. 20. Then if you look at different games, okay, then I'm gonna change this to a node. Okay, let's see. I have different assets, but I think I got this. Okay, I have this asset here. It depends on what you download. You can download it from the asset store. Just look for different assets or different sprites that can help you with this. Okay, you can use the knob, but I'm gonna use this. But if you don't got what I have, just use the knob. The knob comes with the asset I told you to download. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. So I'm gonna go with this. So let's see how it looks. Okay, it's okay for me. So now let's play the game and see what's going on. Anyway, you see this. It's cool, right? It's okay. You can increase the size, but I'll work with this for now. Then in this image, I'm just gonna name it since it's a crossbar, I'm gonna name it crossbar. Or you can maybe actually just name it you name it something like okay, crossbar. Yeah, I prefer crossbar. Okay, that's okay. Crossbar is okay. We click on crossbar and that's nice. Okay. Okay, so we have worked with the gun, but I want us to just work with the weapon and the health of the zombie in this tutorial. So we're gonna continue with that. So we're going to the enemy manager. That's the zombie. So just let it load. Okay, so let me check it out. Okay, it's not yet open. Okay, it's open now. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do next is that I'm just gonna do is this. Just go click here, and I'm gonna say public float. I'm gonna say health. So the health is equals to 100f. Okay, then I'm gonna do this. Then I'm gonna say public void hit. And in parentheses we're gonna say float damage. Then what I'm gonna say is health is equals to health minus damage, semicolon. Okay, since we're gonna be using this in our weapons, we're gonna do the weapon manager. Then what I'm gonna say is I'm just gonna copy this, Ctrl X, and I'm gonna say if, then in parentheses Ctrl V and backspace, yeah, enter, then this. So if the enemy manager, then gonna call it enemy manager, is equals to heat dot transform dot get component then you put your less than and greater than sign, we say enemy manager, then you put your parentheses. So like I did, what I just did was just to go to the public float, created, then you call it damage 25f, then I under the void shoot, and I created an if statement, a raycast. Then under the raycast I created a condition again. If the enemy manager is not null, the enemy does hit damage. Okay, so save this, then we head back to the enemy manager, and what we're gonna say here is because now if you just run this code like this, run this code the way it is, what it's just gonna do is that it's gonna kill the player, but the player is not gonna die. The player's health is gonna reduce, but the player will still be alive even at 0 health. So it's just gonna say if, any parentheses, health is less than or equal to 0, then we should destroy this object. Destroy this. That's what we're destroying this game object. Yeah. Okay. Actually, this will actually destroy the zombie, but I prefer using game objects. So I'm just gonna say, in place of this, I'm gonna use game objects. Yeah, it's better for you. So we're gonna save this. And we head back to Unity. So what I'm gonna do is now we're just gonna go to the zombie, the nav mesh, because I don't like the height of being too small. She's too small, so I'm just gonna say, what will I use? Let's just think of something. Okay, I'll just say 3.8. Okay, that's good. So now it's time for us to test the game. Okay, let's test it. So we should make sure we clear up, kill the player. Yeah, we killed him. Good. Before he killed us, we killed him. But it's just weird that while killing, the gun doesn't even move. No animation. So that's what we're gonna be doing next. Adding animation. Okay. So what we're gonna be doing is that we'll go back under assets, because we're gonna do an animation. So we're gonna analyze characters, animations. Then we're gonna use this FPS animator. So we're gonna just look at it. You see, from the FPS idle to the FPS aim to the FPS firing to the FPS aiming. So now we just go back to our game scene, and what we're gonna do is this player. We're just gonna under player FPS character. He has an animator, so we're dragging this FPS animator into it. Yeah. So now let's play it and see what we have. Oh god, he's killing us. Okay. Okay, he killed us. Now let's try again. Okay, let's stop this now. Okay, I just troubleshooted and found out what we're not doing. We're meant to actually go under the weapon manager, then create an animator, then call it play animator. Okay. Okay, then we're gonna say if player animator dot gets bool, then in parentheses put now let's go back to Unity to check what our bool is. So we go back to the animator, that's this first PS animator, check our parameters, is shooting, okay. So we go back to the scripts, is shooting. Okay, and this is what we're gonna do. Then we're gonna say play animator the set bool, then in parentheses is shooting, comma false, semicolon. Then we're just gonna go under the void shoot and we say player animator dot set bool, then in parentheses is shooting, comma true. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna save this now, head back to Unity, just let it load. Just give it a little time, it's gonna load. I don't know why it's taking a little time. Okay, okay, but let's make sure. Yes, daddy. Sorry for that. So what we're gonna do next is under the player, sorry, under the, we're gonna look for the weapon again. Yeah, so we're gonna say the animator, so we're gonna drag in the FPS character. Okay, so click the player, apply. Oh, okay, so let's test it. See how animation works? Good. You kill the player. So what's the animation works? Good. Okay, so that will be all for this tutorial. And the next tutorial we'll see what we're gonna be doing next.